Hi, how y'all doing? It is 7:11 p.m. Sunday, December 15th. As of recording this video, I actually made one Friday, Friday the 13th, and all that. I like all things creepy, but it did not sound good. You couldn't hear what I was saying. I don't know. So hopefully this one comes out better. That last one wasn't worth posting, so hopefully this one's better. Just finished some supper, chicken and beans tonight. Joey went back to his mom's tonight. She came and got him hour and a half ago or so now. It's always tough when he goes back with her, you know. Like I said in another video, every time I watch them pull out of the driveway, I get a momentary flashback of times before when they would go somewhere, but obviously they were coming back. And then October 26th of 21, when I watched them pull out of the driveway for the last time, where I still thought we were a family. I mean, she said she wanted the divorce and all that, but I still had desperate hopes of saving it. So I get a little bite, you know, right in here every time I watch them pull out of the driveway. And when I've had Joey, even if it's just for the weekend, but especially when it's been for several days in a row, it's really hard to adjust to him being gone. I mean, I'm here, of course. My old dog's my old cat. But it's just not the same. The house feels empty when he's not here. And I feel that doubly so when he's been here for a while and then suddenly he has to go away again, back to his mom's. It's always extra depressing, and I end up lost in thought and memories that depress me further, but it's kind of like a vicious cycle, you know. It's just something that I have to go through. It's kind of like I live for each time he's here, and then I just exist when he's not here. Seeing her is hard because you know, she's a very different person to me than she was when we got together, when we got married for the first couple of years of our marriage. but her voice is still the same. She's gotten older, and she's admittedly not great at taking care of herself, but still the same face. And my heart still skips a beat when I hear her voice, you know. Ugh. What's that old Cars song? Love stinks. Sure as hell does. Go back a little further. Nazareth, Hair of the Dog. They had a good cut of Love Hurts. I think Roy Orbison wrote it, was the first to record it. Love all his music too. It's definitely a hard game to play, especially when you lose. And it's tough. You know, over 3.5 years after it started, 3.5 years or about, it hasn't gotten easier. I've accepted it. But it hasn't gotten easier to deal with. Like I said in that one video that I ended up deleting, I have got one of the pictures of the two of us together standing out in the front yard. I sit and look at it, and I grieve a little bit all over again. I think about what could have been. I got one of our wedding pictures that I look at a lot. It was on our wedding day. We got married downtown St. Augustine, at the Penapec House, right there on St. George Street, behind the cathedral. And we went over to the square, which is right there at the end of St. George Street, the old town square, and took a bunch of pictures. And there's a reproduction of an old well, covered well, you know. And we took some pictures there. And one of my favorites is, you know, it's like we're dancing and I'm dipping her. And that's a good picture too. It's so weird, you know, for your life to change so much, you know, in just a few short years. When I was younger, I used to want to be I wanted to be a combination of Alan Grant from Jurassic Park and Indiana Jones. I wanted to travel the world in search of forgotten places and things, because I felt more akin to such things than the modern world. And every year that passes on and the newer things become, the less I feel I belong here, you know? It's like that whole thing with computers. You know, I always talk about how I'm no good with computers. It's hard for people to fathom nowadays, I guess, but I mean, you could time travel back to 1958 and put a laptop in front of some old grease monkey and expect him to be able to use it, and he would look at you like, you know, you're from outer space. It'd be outer space technology to him. And that's how I am. I just don't, it's not something I've ever been able to get. I do not, computers and I do not get along. I hate them. I would probably still be using a flip phone if a connection to the internet and the ability to function on the internet was not imperative to living in the modern Western world. And like I've said before, my phone is over 5 years old, and you always see people that are so excited to get the latest model. I dread it. God, I hate buying a new phone. I wish that I could go and buy a brand new, you know, model, but the exact same phone. Like, I wish I could go and buy a 6 or 7 year old phone that's brand new and works perfectly fine, that I don't have to relearn, because I hate, God, I hate learning a new phone. And it's never something I just fall into, you know. I've got to sit there and mess with it and play with it and figure stuff out, and I hate it. It drives me up the wall. But you know, back when I was younger, another long walk around a short block, I wanted to be an adventurer, you know. I wanted to get lost in forgotten places. And I never really wanted to get married. Didn't want to have kids. My folks both had to work when I was younger. I guess I was about 11 or 12. My sister was born when I was 10, and my brother was 4 years younger than me. They both had to go to work, and we didn't know anybody that they trusted to babysit us, and they couldn't afford a babysitter, so I became the babysitter. And I was the constant babysitter for pretty much 5-6 years. And it was tough. God, it was tough. It taught me a lot, though. It I think taught me a level of humility that most kids at that age had long since lost. But I figured, you know, I helped raise my sister, basically, and that wasn't any fun, so I don't want to do that again. And my parents deeply love each other, but they used to fight like wildcats when I was a kid, man. Uh, never, never was bad, never got physical, and it was never abusive, but it just, it was work, and it was work that I didn't want. I kept, thinking, I don't need that, I don't want to do that. So I didn't want to get married, I didn't want kids, I wanted to go off and be an adventurer and hopefully discover some time loop where I could get lost in the past for real, Got older, went to work, and I got lost in the routine. I ended up never going to school beyond high school. I wanted to join the military, and I never did that. Primarily because I had bad knees and issues with my hips, so I couldn't get I couldn't get like a combat position. I was basically what they used to call 4F. I would have been an office clerk or something like that. And back then, now I see the value of serving your country no matter what you do. But back then I couldn't help but think, a lot of my family come before me, Green Berets, Force Recon Marines, pilots, and I wanted to be a part of that, represent that, carry that on, and I couldn't, and it made me feel kind of jaded. So I went to work and got lost in the static of life, worked in road construction for a year, a couple temp jobs, and then fell into a warehouse job, and next thing I knew, I'd been with that company for 10 years. And I had a coworker there that I dated for a while, and she had kids. She had 3 kids by 3 different fathers. And I was a bit naive to that type of girl. I am not like a lot of guys today. I do not have uncounted exes in my past. There's a few, but just barely get into I don't even make into the double digits, high single digits, and I'm proud of that. I'm not. I never was a philanderer looking for the next skirt. I was not into one night stands. I didn't want to get married, but something like a one night stand felt empty. But I dated this girl that I worked with, and she had kids, and suddenly I decided, this family thing is kind of alright. And I thought I was going to make an honest woman out of her. I thought I was going to step up and help take care of her and, help take care of her kids, and she didn't want that. She liked too much her freedom. She didn't want a steady. She didn't want a husband. She didn't want she very much still enjoyed, handing the kids over to somebody for the weekend and going and getting drunk at a bonfire and waking up who knows where. She used to say, stuff like a 12-pack's just enough to piss you off, which means she liked to routinely drink a good deal more than that at one time. And I couldn't understand that, but she broke up with me when she realized I was wanting to get serious and that I was trying to, within boundaries, but become friends with her kids, because I was wanting to hopefully try to raise these kids. My gears had shifted, and I suddenly wasn't the man that I was beforehand. Well, she broke up with me, and I met my ex-wife right after that breakup. My parents, in fact, introduced us. I'm not interested in a relationship ever again. I don't have the emotional fortitude for it. But I joke with my folks every now and then, you are never again allowed to set me up with a woman. And if you try, I'm turning around and walking straight back out the freaking door. But I went so quickly from not wanting any of that to wanting it, and then losing what seemed like a ready-made family, and then meeting this girl, and you always say bullshit, but I swear the first time I saw her, something clicked, and I was just like, wow. And I was kind of starstruck, and I should have known better, because from our very first date, I felt like something was wrong in my gut. You always follow your instincts. Your head can be your head can be fooled, and your heart is just a freaking idiot. But your gut never steers you wrong. And man, my gut was telling me, no, this ain't the one. This ain't right. And I carried that feeling throughout most of our relationship, but my heart was racing. And I didn't listen to my gut. And we quiet down, because it's like, well, all right, dumbass, you didn't listen to me, so you get what you get. And big moments, it would start up again. When I was buying the ring to propose. Don't do it, Joe. Don't do it. But I'm like, shut up, be quiet. Okay, see what happens. And then I legitimately decided to start trying to have a kid. Don't do it. Nope, I didn't listen. And then, that day that she left for good, October 26, 2021, I was sitting on the front stoop of my porch, holding those divorce papers, and I was bawling like a baby. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. Big man. And I'm sitting there, you know, waterworks flowing, snot running everywhere, feeling like I'm gonna throw up. And down deep inside, you know, I heard that little voice. I told you so. I told you so. And you didn't listen. This is what you get. And now every time I watch that car drive off with my whole entire fucking world, I hear that little voice. I told you so. I told you so. I need a beer. Y'all be good. I'll talk to you later. Good night.